seeing a full house here at Innovation Matrix. Thank you so much for being here. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Melissa Grizzle. I'm the Director of Entrepreneur Development with ITEN, and excited to have you here for our Tuesday is the new Thursday. For those of you who have been used to coming to Second Thursday, that we've been doing for over a decade. And speaking of over a decade, this is our birthday month, hence the lovely pairing of cookies and beer. But supporting a great vegan restaurant that moved in behind my house. And when you move in behind my house, the city of St. Peter sends you a little letter that says, this business moved in behind your house. Would you like to complain about it? Or I don't know what the point is. But anyway, I was like, oh my gosh. Because they also rent out their commercial kitchen for people that need commercial kitchen stuff, because we know how hard that is for our food entrepreneurs to get into commercial kitchen space. So Royally Baked is, and I've had the cookies, and if I didn't know they were vegan, I wouldn't have guessed they were vegan. So dig into those. The green ones are gluten-free. And how you find an ingredient when you're trying to be vegan and gluten-free, I don't know, but they did. So welcome. We are, as I said, doing our monthly programming here. We have shoved all of our internal workshop stuff for our companies and our main event here for everybody. And I can get really good music underscoring everything. So we're really, because we wanted to show off this beautiful space. So for those of you who don't know, we became a part of Lindenwood University 2 years ago as the world was shutting down. They thought, we got enough to think about, but you might as well come on in and be disruptive too. So you've been with them since May of 2020 and in this beautiful space. So beautiful building, glad you're here to enjoy it. Want to just point out our rest of the ITEN staff that helped this evening come together. Quentin Ortega, our executive director, who's recovering from COVID fog, so that's why I'm doing all the talking tonight. Perfectly helping out, but where'd Connie go? Connie Gallagher is with us. Are you interrupting?
Sorry.
So we were excited when we were approached by Paul from Fourth Estate about hosting his launch of this fabulously named Stiches Get Stitches, sparring for, so we're excited to underwrite the $500 prize. Also, we have, for our winner gets the $500 and a year of T-Rex co-working membership. Thank you, our partners at T-Rex. As well as second and third place gets the T-Rex memberships. And People's Choice also will get a membership. So we'll have, in the 10 minutes or so, we'll have, once I shut up and let the important people start talking, you can vote during the time we're supposed to be getting a beer and letting the judges do addition. And then everybody that's pitching tonight will get a little bit of ITEN swag and a day pass at Spark co-working. Look at the schedule, use it on a day the cards are playing. So you can watch the game from their space. It's a gorgeous view of the stadium from Spark. So, without further ado, did I babble on enough? Okay.
You're good.
Emily Hemingway, our MC, ITEN EIR and Executive Director at TechSTL. Take it away.
Awesome.
General Bad.
Good. Thank you, Melissa. Okay, so now it's obvious. Everybody, please silence your phone. We will be recording our pitchers, and they only have 2 minutes. And if your phone goes off when they're pitching, you have to leave. Ultimate party foul, right? It's okay.
Sorry, Paul.
Oh.
You gave me a mic and
Oh, you took it off? We need that.
What did with it?
You lost the mic?
I think it's in a stack of chairs, probably. That was the last activity I did.
Oh, God.
That's
Okay.
not my mic?
No, this one's my mic. It's now their mic. Okay, we've got this one. It is hot. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay, so we have 7. That's true. Thank you.
Job, James.
You're the one that said it would be loud in the description. So
Hello, this room is packed. It's loud.
Advertising.
Well, I mean, you can't say pitches get stitches is peacefully quiet, right? It's a silent event. For sure. Okay, so tonight we have 7 presenters. We actually had 15 people apply, so we were only able to pick half, right? We have 15, about that? Each of them has 2 minutes to pitch their company. No slide deck, just talking. They're competing for $500 and, you know, being able to win, which is always exciting. Bragging rights, absolutely. Before we get started, I want to introduce our amazing judges that we have here. If you guys want to stand up and introduce yourselves, you're going to do a much better job of me. So let's start here with Akeem.
Hello everyone, my name is Akeem Shannon. Born here, right here in St. Louis, Missouri. Founder and creator of the Flip Stick. It's a little device that lets you take hands-free pictures and selfies by sticking your phone anywhere. And yeah, happy to be here and excited to hear some of the pitches.
Born and raised likewise here in St. Louis. Happy to be here. Some of the founders I've seen at 1 Million Cups. Excited to get to know some of the others. I am with BioGenerator, and I am on the programming side, supporting underrepresented founders in the life science sector with resources and funding. Happy to be here.
Hi everybody, my name is Vic. I'm with Green Cow Venture Capital. It's in the early stage venture fund. And I am a son-in-law of St. Louis, so I'm not involved in St. Louis. We just moved here in December. Rather than, because people will approach me after this and be like, can you fund us? And so let's not do that, but email me, super easy, email me, vic@greencow.vc. And I'm happy to take a meeting and chat with you about that. But it's good to be here. Thanks, Paul.
Absolutely. Okay, so just a last bit of housekeeping. We now have 1 mic. So I will be connecting the mic to the presenter because we will be recording. So it'll be a little bit of time in between. But we're trying to make sure that each of the pitchers also has a great video recording of their presentation. So first up, we have Riley with Approach.
All right, you're 30, you're single, and you are ready to find a partner who shares your interests and values. You find the paper-perfect match online, but you meet in person and you know within minutes that the chemistry and attraction just aren't there. This happens time and again, and you're starting to get really frustrated by how much time you're spending swiping and messaging online with little to no return. You would approach someone in person, but your fear of rejection holds you back, and you never know that other person's relationship status. What you need is a tool that allows you to jump over all the messaging and swiping and go straight to that in-person meetup. In other words, you need Approach. I'm Riley Foster, a co-founder of Approach Dating. Approach is a dating app for single professionals who are interested in dating intentionally and who are engaged in their communities. To use the app, users see a radar of all the other users in their vicinity. When they see someone of interest, they send a nudge, which is a proposal to connect in person at an Approach partner business. Partner businesses are bars, restaurants, coffee shops, and other businesses that have subscribed to be listed as a suggested meeting location within the app. They can also offer specials to users and host singles events. Approach takes connecting in person 1 step further with our future development, Approach Live. Live connects users in person at designated safe locations at large-scale events. So think sporting events, concerts, and venues. These low-stakes in-person meetups allow users to genuinely determine their interpersonal chemistry over shared interests. Approach launched last year in St. Louis. We currently have 115 active users every day and 50 beta partner businesses, including a partnership with Ballpark Village. Currently, we are raising a pre-seed round of funding to take Approach beyond St. Louis so that we can help more of the 35 million American dating app singles find their person in person.
Great. Do you want to go on to it? All right, so my biggest question, I love it, I think it's great. What's the difference between what you're doing and Happen, which has 100 million subscribers?
I think the biggest difference is the direct relationship. Well, there are 2. The direct relationship with the partner businesses, so that users are investing in their local economy, and there's this one-to-one, or there's back and forth between the user and their local vicinity. And then the second is Approach Live. So the way that Approach Live is designed and is yet to be developed, but does allow users to connect in those specific venues, both, again, like I said, sporting events, concerts, festivals, et cetera, on a one-to-one basis over those shared interests.
So you've got 115 active users. What are you doing to attract more singles in such a crowded market?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I think one thing to think about here is that like the average dating app user has 3 to 4 dating apps. So Approach is not going to be used when you're at midnight on your couch, like interested in just like having a pen pal. It's going to be used when you want to be out meeting people. And so we host singles events. We had our first one in March. We have 3 more on the calendar for this spring, early summer. We also leverage our partner businesses. They do a lot of our marketing for us. So they post social media, and we're also in the process of providing them with materials to put in their storefronts as well.
So I really like the intentionality and the authenticity of the platform. Just to kind of piggyback off of what Angie asked, you have 115 active users. What kind of tracking are you doing behind the scenes to kind of line up the demographics and the people's likes and dislikes versus those that are actually using data apps and seeing where the two kind of intersect and then gleaning more data, more value out of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think if I'm interpreting your question correctly, it's like how are we doing the matching and the filtering in ways?
Yeah, and are you looking at the data that you're collecting from the 115 users that you have, and it'll be increasing, right? Are you looking at it in a way that gives you some sort of asymmetric advantage into the insights that you get, right, and into the data in order to then glean more value for the venues?
Sure. Yeah. So we're definitely analyzing like the demographics on the back end of the data to make sure like who are we intentionally targeting. So like initially we had a lot of women sign on, so like most of our targeting was turned towards men. Similarly for different age ranges, and making sure that we have like an appropriate spread. I think also in that question, like obviously like 115 isn't a ton right now, so like pushing broadly right now just across the board to target every demographic within that range. But yes, we are looking at data in that way.
How long did it take you to get to the 115?
We launched in August of 2021, and we got 115 active users after a couple different iterations in February of this spring.
6 months. Okay, my other question, sorry, real quick, is
no worries.
How are you going to make money?
Good question. So we have a freemium model for users. So users pay $19.99 a month to subscribe to Approach Premium.
And what do they get for that over a free user?
So there are a few different features, and to be transparent, Approach Premium has yet to be developed. So this is a future revenue generation process. But they have a few different features. They can have the ability to reconnect with past nudges. They can have more freedom in the radius of their radar. They get additional filters within their app. And then they also get perks around attending singles events. And then, so that's on the user side, and we estimate that 2% of our users will subscribe to premium based on Bumble and other dating app data. And then our businesses pay $49.99 per month to be listed as an Approach dating app, and we're going to monetize our partner businesses in October of this year.
As it relates to the restaurants, you said that you leverage the event spaces and restaurants to market the business. How do you go about getting more or acquiring more event spaces and restaurants? Are you walking in?
Yeah, great question.
What does that look like?
Most of it has been through Instagram. Every single one, with the exception of Ballpark Village, was an Instagram DM connection. We leverage a lot of local small business influencers. So we have a woman on our team who is a St. Louis small business influencer, has a lot of relationships with these small businesses. And so she's been doing a lot of the networking and onboarding for us and setting up a lot of these singles events.
do you notice a trend in the type of restaurants or geographic area? Like, what does that look like?
Surprisingly, no. It's been incredibly diverse. We have from like patios to McGurk's, I said Ballpark Village, to like brick River Cider, and then also like a yoga studio, ice cream shops, and yes, spread geographically within the city limits. So we haven't gone so far as like St. Peter, St. Charles, but relatively diverse within there.
Just to piggyback again, how long did it take you to close locations on average?
On average, in this year, it's been about a week from start to close. Mm-hmm.
And how many new ones are you adding week over week?
We've had 10% monthly partner business growth in 2022.
Paul, are you timing our judges?
No, should I be?
Oh, yes, 5 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
My last good question is,
You were looking at this, I'm like,
on
okay.
the team, what makes you guys qualified to do this? Like, why is it you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think first and foremost is Allison and I built this to solve our own problems. So my co-founder, who can't be here because she's on a flight to see her boyfriend, who she did find in this process, we had spent, I mean, a cumulative hour, probably 500 hours of these online dates, just absolutely exhausted. And we got this idea in the start of the pandemic, and we were like, we need something different because we show up every time and we just instantly know, like, this is gonna work or it's not. And like, then we just started validating. We started talking to people, we started researching, we found this is not just our problem, but it's a lot of people's problems. And then beyond that, she and I are both, I am currently working in education, founding a career and college readiness program, and she just founded the St. Louis Charter Athletics Association, which serves all the charter middle schools in the city. So we both have founder experience on that side as well.
Ali, want to come up?
All right, we're good to go? Sure. Hi everyone, I'm Ali and our company is Artopia. We're a marketplace for crypto collectibles and NFTs. And we launched 2 weeks ago on beta. Within the last 2 years, crypto collectibles and NFTs have become very popular. And with that growth, a number of bad actors and scammers have defrauded or rug pulled a number of projects, leaving the community supporting these projects with considerable financial loss. While at the same time also giving the technology a negative reputation amongst the public. In our opinion, this is a serious problem. Now, Artopia is a marketplace for rare crypto collectibles and outstanding NFTs. Users can register for an account, create a collection, add their items and list their attributes, and finally select their commission and start selling. Our target market is the gaming, creative, and creative community. Sorry, don't want to mess it up. Gaming and creative community. And we make money by charging a marketplace fee. Artopia charges a 1.9% marketplace fee on every transaction that happens on Artopia. And that's about 25% less than what our competitors are doing. And we charge this fee for facilitating the transaction on-chain and providing the marketplace infrastructure. We recognize also that we have formidable competition that's in our sector, but we also believe that our competitors are hyper-focused on transaction volume. Spoiler alert, we are very focused on that as well, but on the point, our goal is to build a very unique sorry guys, I'm messing it up. A very unique and totally blanked out, guys. Our mission is to build a genuinely better, more engaging, and safer NFT marketplace that's for everyone. Our focus is not only on delivering an exceptional user experience on the marketplace, but also to build and explore on the potential of NFT technology in the real world. Thank you very much. Sorry.
So first of all, don't be sorry. Angie said it. You're telling us all about your idea. It's gonna take some nerve to do that.
For sure.
Anyway, I kind of want to fast forward to the heart of all of these NFT marketplaces, which happens to not be the backbone, but it happens to be the creator. And how do you, how are you going to go about attracting creators to your platform? You know, for all of you out there, there are NFT marketplaces like OpenSea,
Right.
and I know there are like 40 others that I can't think of. See, right? You blank out.
It happens.
But like, how do you get creators to your marketplace over that? It can't just be the transactional fee.
Sure, no, absolutely. And that's a great question. Thank you for asking. One of the things that we found out from talking with a lot of NFT developers, the creators who are building these collections, is most of the marketplaces, again, are transaction driven. So they're lacking tools that can help build a community or build trust for their audience beyond, the usual channels like having a Twitter, having a Discord channel, and having your mods talk to them on there. So our approach is really to build these tools for our developers, and these tools also serve the community itself because they're going to have a community building tool that they're going to be able to verify with who the developer is and how they're going to build value. So that's one part to answer that. And the other thing is really shipping and delivering awesome, outstanding products for the NFT community and the developers. For example, one thing we want to incorporate in our marketplace, right now, if you want to have an NFT collection, you have to basically generate the collection offline and then upload it to a marketplace. We want to make that process really easy for anyone who wants to generate and create an NFT by putting an engine that's online. So that's one of the features that we'll be shipping hopefully here pretty soon.
Thank you.
I'm curious. So first off, great presentation. It does take a lot of guts, and practice makes perfect, and this is the perfect platform for that. So I celebrate you, and I encourage you to keep at it.
Thanks.
It's a rough road, and it takes a lot of bravery. So I just want to take a moment and recognize that.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
As far as I'm drawing a brain fart, or having a brain fart. But as it relates to like authenticity and
Sure.
How do you determine if someone chooses to post their NFT on your platform that it is actually authentic? I think that's what I'm saying at the end of the day.
Okay, that's a great question. And I can tell you as of right now, we're not technologically there yet, but our goal is to build the marketplace with tools where we let the community help us solve this problem, because there's certain marketplaces out there that basically sit in the middle still, and they decide who gets on their platform and who they kick out and who they allow to sell. Now, the whole idea of building like a blockchain project is decentralization and giving ownership and control back to the community. And so our goal, really, what we want to do is build these tools for the community so they can help either verify the developer, communicate with each other on the marketplace about certain collections. Yeah,
So it's like a review, essentially. So if this is their
done by the community, but not us. Like, and
Got it.
not
the
necessarily
liability
us.
is on the buyer, the purchaser.
Yes, and we want to educate everyone that goes to the website. It would be great if you go to OpenSea or any of the websites and you see more educational content that's on there, or maybe resources that can help you discern if this developer is a real person or have they rug pulled and scammed people before. So we're working really hard on bringing these tools together. So.
Okay, so I have two questions I'm trying to decide. My first is around security.
Sure.
Obviously there's been a lot of scams that are happening consistently.
Absolutely.
Sometimes there's not even scams. Some people are just getting hacked and then everything gets stolen off the server.
Sure.
What makes you guys qualified to protect people's assets here and then also to protect people from getting scammed? Like, how can you do that better than an OpenSea or anyone else who has $100 million to spend on the problem?
Sure, that's a great question. Again, I think when it comes to smart contract security, the best thing I can tell you as of right now, we'll do the best job that we can, and on top of that, we provide our audit reports.
And is it proprietary technology, or are you just employing the best-in-class technology?
The best-in-class ERC 721, they're basically open-source smart contracts. And we wrote specific multi-cent smart contracts that basically make sure that our infrastructure cost is paid, and then the two parties are paid out on that transaction. Sure.
Those are family.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone. I appreciate it.
All right, so next we have Sheila.
Hello, my name is Sheila Buswell from Buswell Biomedical. I just want to talk to you today about being a mobility concern. In 1998, I was in the U.S. Army, stationed in Bosnia, and a generator fell on my foot. I was in a rehab hospital called the Blue Factory in Bosnia.
In 2018, my mom fell and broke her hip in Arizona. In the intervening 20 years, nothing had changed. Your best solution as a mobility concern then is the same as it is now. You're accompanied for all the activities of daily life, like toileting, by a healthcare worker. This leads to a very expensive problem for hospitals. You're sued, people still get hurt. Healthcare workers are hurt helping other patients. Workman's compensation is expensive. Workman's compensation insurance is expensive. Buswell Biomedical is developing a device that utilizes artificial intelligence to control a mechanical device to help patients move independently. Healthcare workers can prioritize the tasks for which they were trained. These people can move independently. Healthcare workers can know where they're at. If they need help, they can be stabilized. Buswell Biomedical is headed by me. I have a master's degree in biomedical engineering. My name is Sheila Buswell, Greg Buswell, and 3 advisory boards. A healthcare advisory board, a scientific advisory board, and a business advisory board. All the members of these advisory boards are superstars in their own careers. They're mid to late career, but they believe in the product and they believe in this business. If you have any questions, please contact me, sheila.buswell@buswellbiomedical.com, or check out our website, buswellbiomedical.com. Thank you.
Okay, so my question is, funny enough, me and some buddies were just doing some research on these like exoskeletons because we were talking about why we weren't going to need wheelchairs in 25 years. So I actually think this is very interesting. What is the difference between what you're creating and some of these like exoskeleton type leg suits that we're seeing being created for like military and industrial?
The two main things. The main thing is you can't go to the bathroom in an exoskeleton, or you could, but it would be terribly messy. The second thing is an exoskeleton is a 510K that uses a healthcare worker. In the 510K documentation, you need to have a chaperone at all times. That chaperone is a healthcare worker. The secret sauce that we have is this artificial intelligence that's going to be the case of the healthcare worker. A healthcare worker gets hurt lifting heavy patients. Patients are getting heavier every day. So is the patient wearing this apparatus or is the healthcare worker wearing it? The patient is wearing it. The healthcare worker is doing other things, carrying an iPad that says, okay, the patient is headed to do an activity of daily living.
And just so I want to make sure I completely understand the product. Is it like something mechanical that helps them move, or?
So it's a harness that's on the upper torso and it control a mechanical device that's exterior to them. If the sensor harness in the harnesses says you're unstable, it stabilizes you. Otherwise, you move under your own power.
Oh, so it's a balancing. It's more meant to keep balance.
I have an SLA or a solid model. If you can check out my website, we can later or we'll run out of time.
Well, I'll let you go to your question.
No, do you have IP intellectual?
Yes, I have 2 patents pending.
Okay.
One on the harness embedded with sensors, and one on the entire device.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who would nursing homes? Who would be your customer? Like your
initially, it's rehabilitation.
Rehabilitation. Okay.
But we'd like to branch out eventually, geographically, and then nursing homes as it gets cheaper. Okay. But like the cost and
that's what I'm saying. The average cost of
the average
harness?
cost for this will be pretty expensive.
Okay.
And nursing homes
what's pretty expensive? That's relative.
Yeah, it is. Well, a bed in a nursing home or a rehabilitation facility or a hospital costs like $25,000. This would be in that range. Yeah, because it can do a lot of stuff. I mean, it raises, it lowers. Yes. It's like got alarms if you get up.
Sure. So who does that cost offloaded to the insurance? You said insurance provider, the individual.
So hospitals buy stuff from hospital purchasing groups. There's 7 in the United States, and
say that again.
There's 7. One of them is actually located in St. Louis. Hospital purchasing groups.
Okay.
So the equipment is more complex when it's purchased that way, but that way it's always up to date. The software, this is a software device, right? Like there's an artificial intelligence machine learning algorithm that's constantly learning. But part of it, when we reached out to these companies, they were like, oh, well, we need it updated when we want it, not when you want it. So the hospital purchasing groups purchase the equipment with these hospitals. They will orchestrate when we update all the equipment, all that stuff.
How hard is it to get into this group of 7?
Oh, very hard. It's like people who go to work for them, they move from hospitals generally or right out of school, and it's like they enter into witness protection program. Like it's very difficult to reach them.
You also need FDA approval and all that stuff.
Yeah, I have
Regulatory.
I have 2 FDA regulatory consultants, and they're more expensive than lawyers.
And she asked all my good questions.
Okay.
She did ask great questions.
Good, we'll catch up on time.
Is there anything else that we need to know?
Oh, so just to piggyback on your model here, which looks great. So this is at. Oh, be careful.
It's a prototype.
So actually, this is something that stays stationary in the bathroom.
No, the white thing would come to you like a Roomba, and
There's a harness, right?
yeah, the harness would drop
goes
down,
around
and like
this
you could put it
person.
on like a
Yeah.
seatbelt, and
The
then
harness rolls with them down the
Yeah.
the bathroom.
and then if you need if it needs, it'll stop you. The reason that doll is wearing it's like made me uncomfortable when it was naked, so I put the doll that didn't.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Some respect on that mannequin.
It's like 30
Right? And
times the
again,
size.
like there's a woman one too, and it just all sorts of uncomfortable. Anyway, yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
You got that.
Thank you.
The problem is Black community is facing economic, education, and health disparities. And that is partially due to the lack of knowledge and connections to the resources and information that can be impactful to the thriving of the community. I created the Hood Talks podcast, and the Hood Talks podcast is geared to uplift, support, empower, and educate my community. We launched in December 2020. We have a platform on YouTube. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and we have done so many varieties of different shows. Our focus is minorities, and to re-engage, again, connect and support the community, but we have a broad, very diverse audience. We are looking for more sponsorships to help us continue the work that we're doing. We've already partnered with organizations like BJC, Prevent Ed to provide sponsorships, opportunities, but we are looking more to continue the work that we do and host community events, because one of our, very much my passion as a mother, as a 10-year Ferguson resident, and as a community advocate, is about community engagement. I believe that that is the answer and the key to helping my community flourish. And so, sorry. And so you can learn more about the Hood Talks podcast at www.thehoodtalks.com, or you can definitely email me at thehoodtalks@gmail.com.
Awesome. I can start. You good? Okay, cool. So tell me, you guys started December 2020. Is it weekly, monthly?
So we do weekly shows. We're in our second season.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I want to know, what have been the outcomes? Like, what kind of results have you gotten from your listeners? What kind of benefits have they seen?
So a lot of people consider me now a trusted source. A lot of people have said that they felt more engaged, they felt more connected, they felt, because we also provided surveys to our guests and our viewers, they felt connected, they felt more engaged and more aware of what was going on in their community.
And around health or around?
We do so many different segments. We don't specifically just focus on health, but that's one of them, health. We do, of course, mental health segments. We do a segment called The Hood Needs, where we talk to nonprofit organizations about what they do and how they impact the community. So that's providing the resources. We do community events where we get out and we're active in these events and we're broadcasting what's going on at these events, so people can be aware of the events.
And what has the listenership curve looked like?
So right now we're averaging 20 listeners per episode on our podcast sites platform, but we also have a YouTube channel Our YouTube channel has over 1,000 views so far. We have about 80 subscribers to our YouTube channel. And then our Facebook page, I can't give you that, I'm sorry.
As far as great presentation, I need to tune in. I'm curious about, you said your sponsorship. Are you looking to increase your sponsorship?
Yes.
And so currently, how many sponsors do you have?
So we just secured our first sponsor who has sponsored the rest of our season. That ends in August. But we've had, I want to say, I'm going to estimate here, a total of 10 sponsors. So that's including organizations and businesses. And when I say organizations, nonprofit organizations as well.
How much are they from the low end to the high end?
So the highest is $150.
Per episode or for a season?
Per episode.
Okay.
The low end is $30.
Okay. And what is the call to action for a sponsor whose priority is not focused on your target demographic?
So we're offering, repeat that one more time to make sure I'm giving you the right answer.
So if a customer is not in your demographic or your target, your customer segment, so why would they be immediately called to go with your podcast or versus another organization given your demographic? Does that make sense?
Yeah, because just like I'm geared to Black community.
Yeah. So how do you engage them and for them to want to have access to your listeners? Why would it be important to them? Like, how do you sell them and close them? Is my question.
Or
is that not your demo?
I would say the thing that, because I've noticed that I have the outside, but they're probably coming for a specific reason. But I have a lot more of the non-target audience tapping into the podcast. So that's why I say it's very diverse. So either way, we're geared to this one specific community, but you're going to have multiple audience that still tune into the show. So you're going to be beneficial in tapping in.
So I'm actually going to do an un-VC thing and not talk about traction. I think what you're doing is really important. I think community building in St. Louis and surrounding areas is very important. I think it is about bringing information and connecting people, right? So I think rather than ask you a question, I'm going to issue a challenge, which is, how are you going to build community around the content that you're creating? So by that I mean, like, instead of subscriptions and instead of sponsorships, because that's great and it's a fantastic way to get businesses involved. But if you're showing value to the community and to the members, then you can start charging membership
services
and subscription to a community. And there are other technologies that are out there to build that community. But I'm just wondering, and again, this is partly a challenge, so it's not the greatest question, but it's like, have you thought about that? And have you thought about kind of
yes
putting that all together?
So in the future, hopefully this summer, we have a show that's called Kicking It for a Cause, and it's all about community building and networking. So what we're doing is we're going live in person. Our events will be in person, and we get to invite the community in. And we've actually, which I didn't say, I was awarded a $10,000 grant last year when the first year of our podcast, and then we just got a grant to do these in-person Kicking It for a Cause shows. So
congratulations.
Also, she's on Spotify.
I'm on Spotify, Apple, Google Podcasts, YouTube. Wherever you find your podcast, we are there.
You also do the finance episodes, and I think those are really good too.
Yes, I talk about finance. We have no limit to what we talk about on the Hood Talks podcast. So it's a very broad.
That's exciting.
Space. Thank you.
Oh, Brittany, you're up next. All right, so next we have Brittany with Disco. Do you have a disco song?
Pump it up.
No, sorry, I've got the top one.
First one was upstairs.
You got tennis shoes on, so you ready, Disco?
Yeah.
Disco.
It's not an actual disco. Sorry to disappoint anybody. We do bring the party, but all right. Okay. So gathering together has never been more important and more top of mind than right now, both personally and professionally. I'm talking the work happy hour, the shower, birthday party, or just a friend's night out. Events are critical to us. But for the consumers planning and the businesses that we're seeking, the process has not been digitized. It's extremely frustrating, takes hours of planning and valuable resources just to make a plan, and that can lead to us just ditching it altogether, missing out on those opportunities to connect. And for the businesses, that's a loss of revenue and increased labor costs just to manage and market these group experiences. So there's a ton of friction right now in this process and no one-stop shop to really find these creative options and book now. That's okay, we got you covered. Meet Disco. We are the digital marketplace that's automating group experiences. Users can hop on timetodisco.com and be served a curated list of amazing group events at local businesses across a variety of industries. You can search pricing, availability, and book with just a couple clicks in a matter of minutes compared to hours it would have taken you before. So we've officially removed the friction between consumer and business. As a business, I'm kicked back watching the revenue roll in, these events coming my way, and I'm able to manage my listings and events. And again, it's a streamlined process made possible through vertically integrated software for all parties. So we streamline the logistics, you can focus on the fun. We've been live for 8 months. We've had over 130 consumer bookings come through our site. We have 80 paying business partners just in St. Louis alone, and we're launching in Kansas City this summer. 90% of customer surveys said they're actually more likely to book a group event now that Disco exists, and we have a 5-star customer rating. We're hearing from our businesses how impactful we've been to their business operations, and we're building a platform community. So I hope you'll check out timetodisco.com, and we're also in our early stage of funding, so if there's any introductions you think would be valuable for us, would really appreciate that.
All right, well, one great name. Okay, so I have actually a lot of questions here. Great.
Oh boy.
So when you say group events, does that mean I need to bring my group or I get to join a group?
You bring the group. Yep.
So it's just for us, it's our own little private.
Right, yep.
Awesome. So that's really your differentiator between like an Eventbrite. This is like for your group.
Yes, this is purely focused on groups.
Awesome. And did you say 80 businesses?
Yes.
Are paying? And when you said 130 bookings, is that like 130 groups signed up for events?
So this is actually 130 events have been booked through our site. And yep.
Awesome. Awesome. That's really good. I like it.
Cool. Good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so if I'm hearing this right, it's like hyper-local, curated, Groupon-esque. Is that right? Like,
yeah, I mean, but yeah, focused on groups where you can book on demand, and we're actually removing the friction of knowing that availability and pricing, whereas through other tools, you're still having to kind of have that back and forth. You see it on demand.
Sure.
Yep.
Okay, so with regards to that, so your go-to-market for, can you talk a little bit about the go-to-market for, getting the venues and how long that sales cycle has been to get the venues to get on your platform? And the second piece is really, how do you attract, there are a number of different links in the value delivery chain of events and setting up these types of things. So who are you pinpointing first? Like, who's your target? Is it going to, big enterprises that are in St. Louis and saying, hey, you should book your events through us, your corporate events, et cetera, or is it going to the end users, the Joe Schmoes of the world, I guess, I don't know, and say, do it that way?
Yeah, so a couple different things there. So I'm going to try to piece that out. So in terms of attracting businesses, we launched with just 10 experiences, and we focused on, again, that hyper-local, influential businesses that could really help get our name out there, and we've been really successful in that regard. Our no rate is extremely low because for the businesses right now, it's pretty much no risk, right? We bring you revenue. It's a pretty fair exchange there. Sure. And so getting those early businesses has not been a challenge. to some degree, just manpower. And so I actually initially thought we would have a really huge corporate event audience. But early on, we got just a ton of just individual consumers because they're so excited about it. Moms groups, people just that are planning these things for their individual groups. So we launched a partner program that's specifically focused on business planners that plan throughout the year. So they have access to more of a concierge service. We can build out customized plans, and that's shown a lot of success in the last couple of months. So early on, a ton of just individual consumer bookings, but we're starting to see those corporate bookings, which have actually been more of our repeat customers and multi-experience bookings in one transaction.
Great presentation. Love
Thank
your
you.
energy.
Thanks.
I'm curious, how do you make money?
Yeah, so as a marketplace business model, we see revenue with each transaction. So right now our businesses have the option to choose how they actually pay for the booking, which again, that flexibility has made us really successful in that regard. We also have
What's the numbers for that?
Yeah, so it's $20 per booking, or they choose 5% for the booking. So they kind of get a choice, and we also have financial integrations, so they can choose if they how they want to get paid. We also have premium services that we've introduced for consumers and businesses, and those have actually been very successful as well. So as an example, if you needed more of that post-facilitation, hands-on, curated event planning process, you can actually utilize that for us. As a business, if you need more operational support, streamlined kind of powered by Disco support, we actually have a business that is soon launching like a powered by Disco experience where we actually handle all those operations. So premium services are being offered as well.
All right, that's great. So I have another question. So like literally just out there, I just booked a 6-person team building event at a zip lining place, right?
Yeah.
So, they have their own online platform thing that they do, but tell me like what kind of event, can you give me an example of the type of events you're seeing people book on your platform?
Yeah, it is a huge wide variety. So we have a ton of like food truck bookings, private dining rooms, party bus that we actually created a local brewery tour to encourage them to book the party bus. We've had a ton of those. We just launched a group wellness day at a local spa where it's like you go, you have a group spa day, snacks, and we've already had bookings there. So it is a wide range, but it's that medium-sized group kind of that we're seeing.
Because what it reminds me of when you say it is it reminds me of, like Expedia, how they have their like vacation experiences, but you're doing that for groups in town. And one of the reasons I like it, sorry I know we're over time, one of the reasons I like this though is I do a lot of contests with my employees, and usually the prize is you get to pick a group activity, and that's impossible when no one can find what a group activity is because
Yes.
they don't know how to search and find those things. So I would use it.
Yeah. So one thing I want to point out before we're done, we just had a group actually book 3 experiences in one night for a progressive corporate night out, which was pretty super. Like they did 3 different experiences throughout the night. And another thing that we're introducing is a pairs well with. So you actually, for our businesses, we're not only bringing the platform and the market, we're bringing a community. So we're connecting them with things that pair well. Again, streamlining that end-to-end process. So a huge differentiator for us and where we've seen a lot of traction as well. So I know we're over time. Thanks, guys.
We ready?
Yes, Chief.
Hi, my name is Michael Lamb. I'm the president and co-founder of Native Message. I'd like all of you to grab your phones right now and take a look at your phones. I want you to raise your hand if you have unread emails on your phone. Now, I want you to keep your hand up if you have unread text messages on your phone. Not as many people, right? Text messaging is the most effective way to deliver a piece of content to anyone on the globe, period. But it hasn't changed in 30 years until now. The carriers across the globe are currently updating their infrastructure to support the next generation of text messaging. And as an early Google Business Messages partner, over the last few years, we have had a unique view into what the future of text messaging looks like and the solution that's required to manage this new form of text messaging. So as you can imagine, there are many different use cases. We think e-commerce is a great place to start, and specifically Shopify store owners that are looking to increase engagement, drive up conversions, and enhance their data capture. We have a no-code platform that is ready to go today to help businesses design, manage, create these next generation text messaging experiences. We have revenue currently, and our revenue model is a SaaS-based model that includes licensing and transactional revenue opportunities. My co-founder and I have 40 years combined experience in the messaging space, and we also have 3 patents around our technology. We are currently in the process of raising a bridge round of funding to expand the team, acquire more customers, and basically take advantage of our early mover and unfair advantage in this marketplace to begin really getting out there and getting in front of people. So we have the patents, we have the people, we have the platform to be able to take advantage of this market opportunity that is projected to be worth $75 billion in 2026. My name is Michael Lamb. Thank you very much, and I'm happy to answer any questions and show you some demos also.
Thank you. You want to start? All right. So I actually invested in a company in the messaging space. I think helping small business owners small business owners all the way up to corporates is a really interesting take. Particularly as you saw, like there's a lot of engagement around text messages, less around email, even less around social media.
Yep.
Or vice versa. Sorry. I guess. Yeah, there are a lot of ways that you can start in terms of your go-to-market strategy, but I'm now interested in the product that you're actually having, because RCS, I remember Android came out with RCS and I was like, oh man, I'm not quite a blue texter, but I'm like nearly a blue texter instead of the green. Okay, anyway, so the point is, and so there are early use cases. But I'd love to kind of get a sense of where are you starting with your product? Where's the focus in terms of the product offering? To what does the ad look like? Is it?
So basically, it's a.
Because RCS for people, can you explain that to everyone?
There's a reason I didn't say RCS.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, because it's incredibly confusing.
Yeah.
But really, what it is, in a simplified manner, it is now the ability to take a Facebook Messenger type experience and embed it directly into the text messaging app on a device. So now you'll have basic text, you'll have text and a picture, and now you'll have a full-blown conversational experience with rich media videos, carousels, and the ability to really understand what a user is doing in that channel.
Yep.
Because currently you have no idea unless the user tells you by clicking a link or clicking on a phone number, and that's really all you know. But now with this new conversational style experience, there's the ability to know when they opened it, how long they've been there, what they clicked on.
And what does the product look like, right? So there are a lot of optionality. So I guess getting to the crux of my question.
So the product is basically a tool that allows you to build these conversational experiences,
Okay.
and allows you to connect them into the carrier networks, and then it allows you to manage them, edit them, and basically control the entire experience from our platform.
So just to jump in, so essentially what you're going to do is the same way I get to message people either on a Facebook Messenger or I get to message people on an Instagram DM, we'll now be able to have that same experience but directly in a text message. And that's what you're offering, correct? Where they get the choices, they have the images, and they have all that good stuff.
All of the above, yes.
All right, so I'm your target demographic, right? We have a Shopify store, we use Attentive, we use Klaviyo. Why can't they come in with all their tens of millions of dollars and just, kick your ass at this?
We started developing the platform in 2018 and have been working on the platform since then. In 2018, RCS was kind of at its peak, and then it kind of floundered away. So we created some other revenue opportunities using our platform, which is where our revenue is coming from. But as I mentioned today, you can literally create one of these experiences and have it up and running tomorrow.
Got it. But why can't they come in and just do the same thing?
It will take, anybody can build any piece of software, right? But it's really going to take a long time for them to get to a point where we are and have the understanding that we have around how all of this works.
Got it. And what is your revenue? What is your revenue looking like now? How many customers have you guys acquired?
So at this point, last year we did $650,000.
And that was on this platform or through?
That is on this platform, but it's not RCS revenue. So that's what the bridge round is for.
Traditional text message?
Basically traditional text messaging, correct.
Okay.
And that's what the bridge round is for, so that we can expand the team, acquire more customers, do all of that, because we want to go out and raise a larger round, but the investors we're talking to are telling us they want to see more RCS.
And where is the user base right now for this? Like, how many carriers are on board? How many phones have this enabled right now?
So this is across the globe. There are carriers in every country that are up and running and have this working. Specifically in the United States, it's up and running on all 3 of the major carriers. Right now, the market penetration is probably about 15%. And at this point, it's supported on Android. And iOS has not announced support for it yet, but that's where our patents come into play to be able to provide that experience across devices that support it and devices that don't support it.
And are you worried? Because I know iOS, I know iOS introduced this feature into their platform a while back, but it was very, very like tightly controlled. Only massive companies are able to use that.
Apple Business Chat, right?
Yeah, Apple Business Chat. So, do you see any issue there, or will you kind of be able to get around that?
This is what's going to happen: is the carriers are in this game. They see this as a revenue opportunity. When they go out, all of this RCS traffic is going to start to get monetized on devices that support it. And if they are only able to monetize half of their traffic, that's not something that they're going to want to do. So I think the pressure is going to come from the carriers to get Apple to at least get on board with this, because the carriers will be like, you guys gotta get on board with this. So.
Go. Today it's super easy to open up your camera, talk to a computer screen, and record a video. What's hard is having to watch yourself, okay? So much time is spent, and what's hard is having to watch yourself. You are judged, and people judge you for every second of time they stare at a computer screen at home alone. And what I didn't know until 2019, okay, was the secret to editing video, okay? The single most important thing that you can do to edit when you're editing long video of you talking to a camera, okay, has nothing to do with design. It has nothing to do with design. Oh man, yeah. It has nothing to do with design. 30% of your timeline is dead air, okay? Time to think, time to breathe, time to respond, ahs, retakes, mistakes. What the good news is that once you cut it out of that long video, you can look smarter and faster than real life. I mean, you literally gain IQ points, right? But it was me staring at a computer screen, looking for blank spots in design software, making 900 cuts, and 5 hours later, I was burnt out before I even got to design. And I knew if you could solve this problem, you would improve the quality of life for millions of editors, okay? TimeBolt is a desktop app for Windows and Mac that uses algorithms to automatically detect silences in any length of video in seconds, not hours, okay? You can cut or keep in a scene or word, preview a timeline, your video and audio up to 4x speed. You can speed up silences. And this week we're releasing punch in and punch out to where you don't have to learn keyframes to learn how to move about on a video. You can literally right click and point to where you want to go. You can render finished video right to your desktop or export to any popular design editor. We have 900 paying customers, 10,200 software downloads. Over 2,000 customers, 10,200 downloads, 900 active subscribers selling monthly, annual, and lifetime subscriptions. I invite you to download TimeBolt, put your video in, and experience the afterglow of looking smarter than real life. And that little hiccup will not be in the video. Thank you.
Good. I love it. So I'm someone who I'm very slow at video editing. I think this is an amazing tool. It reminds me of, there was a podcast platform that had like introduced this integrated, but I've never seen it like for average consumer to use. What are your thoughts around, is it better to have this, or is it better to be a plugin for Premiere and for Final Cut? And what are your thoughts around that?
We've built custom plugins. We see ourselves as a pre-editor. So for with a lot of linear video, most of the design work today actually happens on screen. It's captured on air. So most people only need something to cut time out of video. For the advanced editors or YouTubers, we have a tool that serves the most extreme. We handle multicam and multi-track audio projects. We have a custom plugin for Premiere where you're able to set up 4 different camera shots. As long as they're synced up with audio in Premiere, you just drop in a JSON file and it cuts it like magic. So we're like we see ourselves as a companion app for the large design editors.
Great.
So great presentation. I think this tool is very important, especially with so many influencers and YouTubers who have their own channel. This is a hot business, and I just celebrate you. I'm curious to know, as far as your competition, why would, say, I'm not going to say my age, but, if I decided to get into making videos, why would I go with your business versus someone else?
This is a personal app. So when you're talking...
To edit.
Because I believe the first time that you open up a long timeline inside design software that's 30, 40 minutes long, and you see all the jump cuts that happen on, that people do jump cuts, they're proven because that's how people are gaining attention on YouTube. If you don't have them in, typically you're not keeping retention for as long. So it's literally, do you want to save 5 hours and run this through so you have more time to be creative, you have more time to create, and less time editing, and basically even more time to learn how to do design, right? Because you're not spending all your time burning out
with edits,
with technical repetitive edit work.
So I'm not an influencer, but I do have a podcast, and so I would absolutely use this. But I brought this up actually to our producer, and he was like, all right, tell me how it's different from Adobe Premiere Pro, how it's different from Audacity, how it's different from Jump Cutter. And so I'm interested to get your take on that. And that kind of jumps into the second part of the question, because I'm all about two-parters today, apparently, which is, are you, VCs, investors, we all want to know that there's a product and there's a roadmap beyond just the initial thing, right? And I think if you're creating a platform that serves as a vitamin, that's great, but we all want that painkiller, and so what does that roadmap look like for you, right? What is the next thing that you're going to come out with?
The next, really where we see our proprietary technology is a feature called check, okay? Where we're doing audio signature detection. We've already paid our computer scientists that will go in and auto-detect where ums and ahs happen inside the long timeline. Once we get that, along with the cutting time, I mean, it's just smart to make videos shorter. It's not so much of a vitamin, it's a painkiller. If you look at, most people don't even want to talk about TimeBolt because they do not want to give up such a competitive advantage that they have in saving so much time. Although we do have today about 110 affiliates, and those are all non-sponsored. There's about 60 to 70 active affiliates. And so we have built a tool, unlike Jump Cutter, okay, unlike what Audacity can do, that can serve the top-end workflows. And unlike those guys that have already learned those complicated editors, we've also got an editor that, for people that are just getting started out, can drop their file in and be called an editor, within 20 minutes, right, of learning. So that's, and then again, with UmCheck, we really see that as a way to tie in our whole offering.
So I just did a quick search. So there's some site, company called Descript. It says they have Annihilator where they can delete ums. It translates everything into scripts, and you just hit delete and it removes it. How, do you have any like proprietary technology that's letting you do something different than what they can do or what anyone else can do?
Well, TimeBolt is half the cost of Descript, and mainly because we don't use transcription technology. We're not transcribing, and we're on the desktop. Okay, so that means a number of different things. I can keep servers on for $100, okay, for 2,000 customers for a year, right? And so you're not uploading video to any type of server, you're where the file's at on your desktop. And the audio detection technology using algorithms based on the audio signature is actually more accurate and more precise than what you can do through transcribing and then editing that way.
So I know we're over time, but just a quick question. So she's gonna play me off. No, so you're with Flipstick, obviously, Akeem. Like, you talk to more influencers than both of us. Do you think, like, currently, does anyone have anything that they're using that's on the phone to edit their?
No one that I've talked to is using something on the phone. I mean, most of it's just happening. But what I have noticed is, we gear toward casual creators. They don't want to go outside of their app. They want it in TikTok editing or in Instagram editing. So to me, the path here would be acquired by a bigger editor, and it's another feature.
Well, so I guess my question is, can you put this on the phone? Because the processing power and everything on these phones
that'd be interesting.
Incredible.
And on demand,
We don't have any plans to do any type of mobile app. There's a huge market right now of people, including my mom. I mean, anybody you talk to, she's in nursing school and she's like, oh, I've got to make this video presentation for this class project, and everybody's like, it believes they have to get it perfect all in one take, because who's going to be able to go back and edit that? Just being able to run these types of videos through TimeBolt is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes, okay. So now we are going to take a break while the judges tally People's Choice Awards. So drum roll, please. DeHood Talks.
But more importantly, a year-long co-working membership. $600 value. Thank you, T-Rex, for that.
That's awesome.
Yes. $600. In second place, we have Native Message. And in first place, we have Disco. All right, everybody get together.
Everybody,
come on in, guys. Yep.
We need levels.
Push it in.
All right, good job. Congratulations.